Elias Trent crossed the crimson-speaking line, etched into the obsidian floor of the Grand Concordat Hall. Gasps rippled through the alien assembly. Towering Vorthari courtiers in iridescent robes froze mid-gesture. The air hummed with the low thrum of translation fields straining against his breach. "Your Majesty," Elias said to Queen Salith Vaughan, his voice cutting clean through the chamber. He locked eyes with her from 10 paces away, ignoring the protocol drones hovering at his shoulders. "A Clethari raider swarm masses in the Outer Veil Nebula. 15 capital ships, cloaked by ion veils. They'll breach your core lanes in 48 hours. Queen Salith's multifaceted crown gleamed under the vaulted dome lights. Her elongated limbs tensed on the throne dais, but her compound eyes betrayed no flicker. Protocol demanded she respond only to accredited speakers. In sequence, Elias had just shattered that chain. Minister Kethrak surged from his podium, his scarlet robes billowing like spilled blood. The power broker's mandibles clicked in fury. "Human! You defile this hall. Guards, seize this envoy for contempt." Vorthari enforcers in powered exosuits lumbered forward, plasma lances humming to life. Elias didn't flinch. He raised one hand, palm out, and glanced at Admiral Juno Park flanking him. The human naval liaison stood rigid in her crisp Earth Force blues, her tablet glowing with linked feeds. The Queen's primary claw twitched, a subtle signal. Enforcers halted 3 steps from Elias, lances dipping. "Speak your evidence, Envoy Trent," Salith intoned, her voice a resonant chime amplified by the hall's acoustics. She leaned forward, throne servos whirring softly. "Or be judged by tradition." Elias nodded once, calm as threading a warp conduit. He'd read the room in transit. Kethrak's allies clustered tight, their pheromones thick with anticipation. Escalation profited the minister arms. Contracts, border claims. War would cement his block. But the Queen's poise masked the fracture. One public waver, and her reign cracked. He tapped his wrist comb. A matte black proof packet materialized from his sleeve projector. A sealed, quantum-encrypted holocube. Standard human diplomatic seal unbroken. It hovered between them, pulsing blue. "Verifiable data packet," Elias said. "Human scout drones pierced the ion veils yesterday. 1422 Galactic Standard. Trajectories locked on Vorth Prime's agreed belts. Yield. Planetary famine in weeks if unchecked. Review it public here, with your court as witness. Or private, in your chambers with Archivist Nerul auditing seals." Kethrak's eyes narrowed to slits. "Insolence! This packet is fabricated provocation. Earth seeks to drag us into their petty frontier skirmishes. I move censure, expel the human and his fleet liaison." Murmurs swelled. Courtiers pinged data slates, querying neutral feeds. Salith's advisors leaned in, whispering via neural links. The Queen's crest flared subtly. Uncertainty? Elias caught it, filed it. The Thari queens ruled absolute, but only if tradition held them untouchable. Bluff, now, and Kethrax pounced. Admiral Park stepped up beside Elias, her voice level. "Earth Force Battle Group Theta orbits your outer marker, Majesty. 12 cruisers, fully provisioned. We offer sensor arrays to confirm the swarm. No commitments. Just facts. Kethrak's world on her. Military posturing in a diplomatic sanctum. This is conquest cloaked as aid." Elias kept his gaze on the Queen. "Choose your Majesty. Public review exposes the threat to all protocol. Be damned by necessity. Private audit lets you act unseen. But the clock ticks. Swarm Vanguard hits in 48. Delay locks your fleets in parade formation per Concordat Right 7.2. The hall fell silent, save for the faint whine of hovering drones. Saleth's claws drummed the throne. Arm, once, twice. Tradition chained her. Public doubt invited challenge rights. Private secrecy risked Kethrak's spies. Archivist Neril, the Queen commanded. The frail custodian scuttled from the shadowed alcove, data tendrils writhing. Audit the packet. Publicly. Neril's optic cluster whirred as it interfaced with the holocube. Projections bloomed. Crisp drone feeds of jagged Clithari hulls phasing through nebula gas. Timestamp overlays matched Elias's claim. Energy signatures spiked. Cloaks failing under strain. Courtiers recoiled. Kethrak's mandibles ground audibly. Authentic. Neril droned. Human encryption unbroken. Swarm vectors confirmed. Impact window 47.3 hours. Saleth rose, her full height eclipsing the dais lights. The chamber bowed as one. Envoy Trent. Your breach merits review. But competence spares you the rights. For now. Kethrax barked. Majesty, this human bypassed the line. Tradition yields to survival, Minister. Solid's voice lashed like a whip. Alert the fleet Primarch. Mobilize Shadow Wings. Earth Force arrays integrate on my authority. Elias exhaled, subtle. Pock's hand brushed her sidearm holster, restraint held. The Queen had chosen action over protocol's noose. Respect etched her posture now, not deference. But Kethrak sidled closer to a cluster of robed allies, pheromones spiking rage. Elias spotted the data slate pass, subtle treason brewing. As enforcers escorted the packet for full decon, Saleth fixed Elias with her gaze. You wagered much, human. Why? Engineering principle, Majesty, Elias replied. Identify fault. Apply fix. Bluffing wastes. Thrust. Her crest pulsed amusement. A warning. Stay. We counsel post-mobilization. Kethrak's glare burned into Elias's back as he withdrew to the envoy alcove. The minister profited from war. This exposure clipped his wings, but not his claws. Elias tapped his comm, cueing Park's theta group for deeper scans. 47 hours. The swarm loomed, and Kethrax plotted. In the alcove shadows, Park murmured, Bold play, Elias. Theta's locked in. But if the minister spins this, he will, Elias said, eyes on the Queen directing enforcers with crisp gestures. Saleth moved like a vessel shedding ballast. Freed. Lethal. We just bought her options. Now we prove humans deliver. Neril approached, tendrils coiling a fresh slate. Envoy. Anomalous sub-signature in the packet metadata. Plethari codes match Minister Kethrak's Trade Consortium logs. From 6 cycles past, Elias's pulse steadied. Proof of collusion. Not enough for open accusation. Yet, log it sealed, he told Neril. For her eyes only. The archivist nodded, vanishing into data streams. Across the hall, Kethrax rallied his block, mandibles whispering promises of reprisal. Saleth glanced their way. Her claw rose. Summons. Elias stepped forward again. No line this time. The game escalated. Queen Saleth's claw sliced the air. Archivist Neril. Authentic the humans packet. On the dais. Now, Neril scuttled forward, slate tendrils unfurling. Elias stood at the dais edge, packet hologram flickering alive. Public ledgers scrolled. Plethari trade routes, bulk freighter manifests, drone swarm components masked as mining gear. He traced the chain with a finger swipe. Origin, Kethrax Consortium Depot on Vex Prime. Relay, 3 ghost jumps through neutral space. Destination, Swarm Nexus orbiting Thalo Belt. Flight schedule synced perfectly, 47 hours to impact. The court murmured. Crests flared in the gallery. Kethrax surged from his block. Majesty, protocol demands council pre-approval for foreign data weaves. I move to reroute verification through my chamber. Standard delay, 12 cycles. Salith's eyes narrowed. Her tail stilled. Elias caught the flicker. Protocol chained her. Public doubt cracked thrones. He tapped his calm. Silent. Prearranged. Admiral Park's Theta Group executed the drop. A new hologram bloomed above the dais, overriding Neryl's slate. Human naval feeds, real-time scans of the swarm. Theta drones pierced the cloak. 10,000 kinetic needles, fusion-tipped, rigged for planetary glassing. Logistics chain lit up. Kethrax freighters tagged red. Elias synced a timer to the projection. Bold red numerals, 465812 ticking down. Gasps rippled. Kethrax's mandibles clacked. Tampering. Human intrusion. Public data, Elias cut in, voice level. Ledgers you approved. Schedules your pilots filed. Theta just connected dots. Neryl's tendrils quivered over the feeds. Verified. Metadata pure. Swarm trajectory locks on core worlds. Impact. Your capital grid. Salith rose. Her shadow engulfed the dais. Minister. Explain. Kethrax recoiled a fraction. Then rallied. A frame. Human ploy to... The timer hit 46, 57, 00. Court eyes locked on it. Elias stepped aside. Let the clock argue. Salith's gaze pinned Kethrax. Archivist. Cross-reference minister's logs against this chain. Nero nodded, slates whirring. Elias watched the minister's claws twitch. Kethrax's block shifted, whispers turning wary. Park's voice buzzed Elias's earpiece. Scans deepening. Swarm command signals traced to Vex Prime. Your consortium, Minister. Elias didn't relay it. Not yet. Salith needed clean kills. Kethrax barked. Delay the authentication. Full council audit. Denied. Salith's voice cracked like hull plating. Timer runs. Proof mounts. You reroute nothing. The court hushed. Elias mapped reactions. Junior ministers edging from Kethrax. Crests folding submission. Aliens prized certainty. Doubt poisoned queens. Neural slate pinged. Match confirmed. Minister's depot shipped primaries. Signatures identical. Kethrax lunged at the dais, enforcers intercepted. Claws locking his arms. Lies. Protocol shields me. Protocol yields to survival. Salith descended the throne steps. Her presence compressed the air. Seize his assets. Divert those freighters. Elias's calm chirped. Park again. Intercepts inbound. Human pickets blocking jump lanes. Your call on escalation. Hold fire, Elias murmured. Let her lead. Salith halted before Kethrax. You weaponized my traditions. For profit. The minister spat. War swells my fleets. Your throne needs enemies. Her claw grazed his throat, not piercing. Warning. My throne needs competence. Yours ends. Enforcers dragged him out. The timer glowed. 46, 55, 44. Salith turned to Elias. Human. Your clock bought me this. What next? He pulled up the full map. Swarm vectors branched. 3 prongs, not one. Flank threats. Public ledgers show decoys. Hit the core nexus. We provide vectors. Her crest pulsed approval. Narrow. Relay to fleets. Mobilize. The archivist obeyed, data streams flooding the hall. Elias felt the shift. Humans as partners, not pets. Aliens excelled at hive coordination. Fleets syncing like neurons. Humans? We engineered the unexpected. Park slipped to Elias's side. Theta's got eyes on the Nexus. One kinetic volley glasses it. Say the word. Not ours to swing. Elias nodded at Saleth, now directing admirals with claw gestures. She commands. A junior minister approached, crest low. Envoy Trent, your engineering. It pierces veils we missed. Practice, Elias said. Humans log everything. Saleth's voice boomed. All envoys witness. Galactic Court acts. Swarm dies before dawn. Cheers erupted, cautious, then fierce. The timer ticked. 46, 52, 19. Kethrak's block fractured. Ministers pledged fleets. Nero fed Elias a side channel. Buried logs. Deeper collusion. Ministers' claws in pirate cells, too. Hallis pocketed it. Leverage. For later. Salith summoned him with a glance. Counsel with me. Privately. He followed to the antechamber. Doors sealed. Her guards posted. Speak plain, human. She coiled before him, eyes level. Kethrak spun webs cycles deep. You cut them clean. Why aid so far? Elias met her gaze. Fault lines spread. Fix one, or all shatter. Earth prefers stable neighbors. Her laugh rasped, genuine. Humble fangs. Admiral Park waits in orbit, with options. Elias tapped the timer sync on his wrist. 46-49-07. But your fleets outmass ours 10-1. Lead. We follow. She paced, tail-lashing calculations. Swarm core, shielded. Clethari design adapts to fire. Public specs say EMP pulses overloaded. Elias sketched the chain again. Theta carries payloads, non-lethal to your hulls. Neral intruded via hologram. Majesty. Pirate signals spike. Kethrak's remnants rallying. Salith's claws flexed. Then we end it. She keyed the chamber comm. All commands converge on Nexus. Human vectors guide. Fire on my mark. Elias's comm lit. Park confirming sync. The Queen eyed him. You started this clock. Witness its close. Back in the hall, the court buzzed. Timer dominated. 46, 47, 52. Admirals barked orders. Hollow screens bloomed. Fleet dispositions snapping into grid. Kethrak's voice crackled from a hijacked feed. Grainy projection. Shackled, but defiant. Fools. The swarm launches regardless. Enforcers cut the link. Salith mounted the dais. Witness. Elias stood firm. Public ledgers had mapped it. Theta confirmed it. Now, action. Neral's final ping. All chains verified. No escapes. Fleets jumped, vectors locked. Impacts bloomed on screens, Queen's kinetics shattering decoys, then Theta's EMPs, blue flares crippling the core. Swarm nodes winked out, one by one. Timer, 46, 42, 01. Silence gripped the hall. Then Roar's Salif's crest flared triumph. She turned to Elias. Debt noted, Envoy. He nodded. Partners settle accounts, but Neryl's side channel blinked. Deeper anomaly. Kethrak's logs hid a Queen's signature. Hers? Forged? Elias's pulse quickened. Game not over. Saleth's eyes met his. Sharp, knowing. Private council resumes, she said. Now, the doors beckoned. Timer still ticked. Doors hissed shut, sealing the private council chamber. Queen Saleth's crest snapped high. Neryl, the anomaly. Now. Archivist Neryl's claws danced over her holopad. A projection bloomed. Jagged logs from Kethrak's seized flagship. At the core, a digital seal glowed. Saleth's royal cipher. Time-stamped yesterday. Authorizing contingency resupply to pirate vectors. Elias leaned in. His diplomat's implant cross-referenced instantly. Forgery hallmarks screamed. Pixel ghosts, mismatched entropy. Planted to discredit you. Frame the crown for the swarm. Saleth's eyes narrowed to slits. Kethrak's gambit. He profits from chaos. But the hall waits. Timer at 46:30. Protocol demands public verdict. Admiral Park's voice crackled from Elias's comm. Fleets hold position. No hostiles reforming. Your call, Elias. Stay vectors locked. Elias met Saleth's gaze. We expose it in open court. Your authority holds if we move first. Her claws flexed once. Lead, envoy, but fail, and treaties burn. Doors parted. They strode back into the grand hall. The galactic court erupted in murmurs. Holotimer dominated the vaulted dome. 46, 28, 14. Admiral stiffened. Envoys from a dozen worlds leaned forward. Minister Kethrak stood at the dais edge, unchained now, his faction guards flanking him. Majesty! The swarm falls, but treachery festers. He thrust a datapad high. Treaty Article 17, Clause 4, Escalation, upon verified royal collusion with hostiles. My logs confirm it. Your seal. Gasps rippled. Saleth halted mid-stride. Elias stepped forward, voice calm. Archivist Nero. Project the full treaty texts. Article 17. All subclauses. Public ledger access. Nero complied. Massive holoscreens ignited across the hall. Text scrolled in Galactic Standard. Humans overlay translating seamless. Elias scanned, then pointed. Read it aloud, Your Majesty. Clause 4B. The hidden escalator. Saleth's mandibles clicked. She mounted the dais. Upon evidence of royal directive aiding aggressors, the sovereign shall authorize punitive fleet action within 1 cycle, or forfeit throne to emergency conclave. The hall froze. Kethrak smirked. Precisely. Your seal verifies it. Authorize the strike on the human vectors that guided our fleets. They synced too perfectly. Colluders! Roars exploded. Alien envoys clutched armrests. One Zyphari admiral barked. War vectors. Lock the humans. Elias raised a hand. No bluff. Just facts. Counterpoint. Clause 5. Emergency writ supersedes upon independent verification of forgery, isolating implicated ministers without sovereign declaration. Murmur shifted. Kethrak's world. Lies. No such writ exists. It does. Elias nodded to Neral. Your archives, archivist. Writ Template 9. Alpha. Narrowscope. Isolate faction. Probe logs. No war trigger. Narrow's projection flipped. Ancient protocol glowed. Ratified eons ago. Verified. Queen may sign unilaterally. Binds court to investigation. Halts escalation clock. Saleth's crest flared. She eyed Kethrax. His guards shifted uneasily. The timer hit 46. 25:00. Kethrax lunged forward. Tradition demands blood. Sign nothing. Declare the strike. Elias met the Queen's gaze. Pulse steady. Your authority depends on certainty, Majesty. Sign the writ. Isolate him. Prove the seal false. Court sees competence, not hesitation. Her claws hovered over the signing plate. Hall held breath. Kethrak's voice rose. Betray your throne! Saleth slashed the plate. Writ sealed in green light. Minister Kethrax and faction. Isolated pending probe. All commands, stand down. No strikes. Enforcers swarmed. Kethrak's guards dropped weapons. Shackles clicked. He snarled as they dragged him. You'll rue this, insect queen. The logs will break you. Saleth turned to Elias. Publicly. Envoy Trent proposes. Court witnesses. Execution. Cheers thundered. Sci-Fi Admiral saluted. Human reads deeper than our own. Elias nodded once. Humble. Protocol serves power, Majesty. Yours endures. Timer paused at 46, 22, 47, but Neryl's private ping hit Elias's implant. Probe started. Seal entropy mismatches 87%. Forgery confirmed. But, sublog. Kethrax messaged offworld. Contingency Alpha primed. Saleth leaned close. Voice low. Game shifts again, Envoy. Elias's jaw tightened. Partners adapt. Court dispersed in ordered chaos. Admirals filed out, whispering of human foresight. Park's comm buzzed. Clean exit vectors prepped. Nicely played. Saleth led Elias aside, away from prying crests. You treated law like engineering. Bent it without breaking. Structures hold when loaded right. He glanced at the sealed writ hollow, now broadcasting empire-wide. Kethrak's face glared from custody feed, defiant but cornered. Her mandibles parted in alien amusement. Respect forms. Competence meets power. Neryl approached, pad clutched tight. Majesty, probe yields more. The forgery sourced from Kethrak's inner circle, but contingency Alpha references a shadow fleet. Beyond our nexus. Human space fringe. Elias's implant flagged it. Park's fleets had pinged anomalies there. Dismissed as debris, not pirates. Something bigger. Salah's eyes sharpened. Then we hunt together. Your vectors. My authority. Park patched in visually. Her face stern on Elias's wrist display. Scans confirm. Ghost signatures. Not Kethrak's tech. Older, swarm-like, but evolved. Hall cleared. Private channels hummed. Elias traced the writ's new clauses on his overlay. Isolation bought time, no war. But the hook dug deeper. Kethrak's final broadcast looped in sub-channels. The true threat wakes. Humans know. Queen, blind you. Salif silenced it with a gesture. He bluffs now. Elias shook his head. Or baits. We verify. Nero cross-loaded data. Patterns emerged. Ancient signals. Predating treaties. A hidden galactic relic. Stirred by the swarm chaos. Contingency Alpha, Elias murmured. Kethrax is insurance. Not against you. Against this. Saulus' crest lowered fractionally. Rare vulnerability. Court sees strength, but truth engineers victory. Elias keyed Park. Admiral. Full spectrum on fringe. Converge. Quiet. High. No bluffs. Timer reset. 72:0 o'clock for probe completion. Hall lights dimmed. But Elias felt the pull. Respect earned. Threat exposed. War averted. Yet shadows lengthened. Kethrak's logs whispered of queens long fallen. Forged seals hid more than one bluff. Salif placed a claw on his shoulder. Witnessed the close, envoy. Again. Doors to strategy core beckoned. Elias stepped through. Game evolved. Competence refused to yield. Elias keyed his wrist calm. Admiral Park, secure annex link. Now. The strategy core's hollow table flickered. Admiral Juno Park's image snapped into focus above the polished obsidian surface, her uniform crisp, eyes locked on Elias. Queen Salith Vorn stood beside him, her iridescent scales catching the dim lights. Claw-tipped fingers drummed once on the table edge. Envoy, Park said. Buoy deployment primed. Your vectors. Elias overlaid the galactic fringe map. Red lines traced Kethrak's hidden approaches. Non-escalatory only. Position sensor nets at these relays. No weapons platforms. Rescue assets forward. We light the dark, not ignite it. Park nodded. No questions. Vectors locked. Launching buoys. ETA to grid. 5 minutes. Saleth's crest flared slightly. Your fleet stirs. Court whispers of invasion. Visibly, Majesty, Elias said. Not guns. He traced a subroutine. Boys would ping mass signatures, thermal ghosts. Anything slinking past treaty lines. Humans built for precision, not bluster. Park's feed split. Drones ejected from her carriers. Tiny spheres bloomed into sensor webs, drifting silent on microthrusters. No engines, no signatures, just eyes. Deployed, Park confirmed. Rescue pods synced. Full spectrum passive scan. Elias pulled Archivist Nerel into the channel. The alien's hooded face materialized. Data streams curling around his cowl like smoke. Archivist. Cross-check this telemetry real-time. Every ping. Nerel's lenses whirred. Protocol demands. Override, Salif cut in. Her voice steel. Verify or vacate. Data flooded Elias's overlay. Buoy nets expanded. First pings. Routine freighters. Then anomalies. Faint mass shifts at the perimeter. Ghosting, Park murmured. Not Kethrak's make. Older drive signatures. Swarm patterns. Elias zoomed to the hollow. Shadows coalesced. Dozens of contacts, hulls warped like ancient relics. No transponders, no hails. Neural's streams spiked. Cross-referencing archives. Matches pre-treaty relics. Dormant swarms. Awakened. Salith leaned in. Her breath hissed. Kethrak's bluff. Worse, Elias said. Insurance. He profits from your war. This forces it, or buries him. Court feeds buzzed in subchannels. Minister Kethrak's image, looped from exile. Humans summon the old hunger. Queen falters. Elias muted it. Buoy net. Tightening. Park, converge quiet. Narrow, pull those logs. Nell's claws danced. Seals forged. But patterns confirm. Swarm predates my lineage. Stirred by fringe probes. Kethrak's own. Park's voice sharpened. Mass signature spike. Lead elements accelerating. Hostile vectors. Elias felt the room's gravity shift. Sail's guard stiffened. Plasma lances humming. Protocol chained her. Declare threat. Invoke war rights. Kethrak's waited for that fracture. Share full telemetry, Elias ordered. Court broadcast. Saleth's crest dipped. A flicker no public eye caught. Exposure risks my throne. Truth holds it, Elias said. He patched the feed wide. Galactic assembly channels lit up. Buoy data streamed. Crisp vectors, mass plots. Historical matches from Neryl's vaults. Assembly erupted. Voices clashed in fractal tongues. Kethrak's allies faltered. Fabrication. Verify yourselves, Elias broadcast. Open archives. Human nets don't lie. Park's carriers edged closer. Pods ready. No shots fired. Swarm lead broke perimeter. Boys lit them like stars. Hulks the size of moons. Tendrils questing. Ancient. Hungry. Neryl gasped. Contingency Alpha engaged. They target Queen's signals. Salith straightened. Mine. Elias met her gaze. Ours now. Park rescue pattern Delta. Draw them to buoy kill zone scans. Aye. Park's fleets danced. Sensors painted the swarm in blinding detail. No weapons. Just revelation. Panic rippled through the swarm. Lead ships veered, signatures fracturing. Old code responded to light. Overloaded arrays bursting from data flood. Assembly silenced. Kethrak's channel cut dead. Saleth raised a claw. Court! Stand down rights. Threat verified. Human aid invoked. Cheers mixed with hisses. Respect rippled. Aliens saw humans not as bluffers, but engineers of sight. Elias exhaled. Timer hit 68. 0 o'clock. Swarm retreated. Ghosts fading under relentless eyes. But Neryl's final log pinged private. More seals broken, envoy. Kethrak's hit a queen killer core. Active. Salith's eyes narrowed. He dies first. Doors to the core's inner vault hissed open. Elias followed her in. Shadows hid more than fleets. Competence met power. Respect sealed. But the game deepened. Queen Saleth's voice boomed across the Galactic Council chamber. Council, convene now. Live threat briefing from Envoy Trent. No delays. Elias Trent stood at the central podium, his tablet linked to the holographic projector. Hollow screens flickered to life around the vast circular hall, linking rulers from a dozen star systems. Alien eyes, faceted, glowing, slitted, fixed on him. He ignored the stares. Data mattered, not glares. He tapped the controls. A sensor trace bloomed in the air, red lines weaving through void-black space. This trace hit our outer buoys 12 hours ago. Infiltrator drone, cloaked. Human nets pierced it. The hollow zoomed on a fractured signature. Origin, Vorfax Shipyards. Sponsor match, Minister Kethrak's private fleet. Gasps rippled. Kethrax lurched forward from his shadowed alcove, scales bristling. Lies! Human fabrication to sow chaos. Palace security, detain the envoy for provocation. Armored guards surged from side doors, stunners raised. Elias didn't flinch. His thumb hit the public authentication channel. A galaxy-wide broadcast pinged live. Every comm node, every citizen feed. Authenticating now. Council watches. The guards froze mid-stride. Holofeeds split. One showed the chamber, the other the approaching arrest. Billions tuned in. Elias kept his voice steady. Protocol 47B. Public verification overrides detention. Scan the trace yourselves. Queen Saleth's mandibles clicked. She leaned forward, her crown gems glinting. Protocol bound her. No uncertainty in public. Kethrax had cornered her before. Not today. Kethrax snarled. Seize him. Guards lunged again. Elias sidestepped the first grasp, tablet steady. The broadcast captured it all. Claws scraping air, stunners humming inches from his neck. See the sponsor code. Kethrax sigil embedded. Nero, archivist, open your archives. Confirm. From her data vault perch. Neryl's tentacles flew over consoles. Accessing. Match confirmed. Minister's Yard launched 3 cloaked probes last cycle. Destination, this palace. Council murmurs exploded into shouts. Traitor! Escalation privateer! Kethrak's face paled under his scales. This is silence. Saleth rose, towering over the dais. Her gaze locked on Elias. Envoy. Full threat profile. Now. Elias nodded. He synced with Admiral Juno Park's feed. Park's voice cut in, calm over the link. Carriers in position, ma'am. Pods deployed. No shots unless ordered. The hollow shifted. Swarm signatures erupted beyond the palace perimeter. Hulks the size of moons, tendrils questing like living voids. Ancient, hungry. They followed the infiltrator, Elias said. Target Queen's signals. Contingency Alpha. Overload their old arrays with our scans. Nero gasped aloud. By logs. They match sealed files. Kethrax buried this. Park's fleets danced into view. Human carriers edged closer, buoys igniting. No weapons fired. Sensors painted the swarm in blinding detail. Every fracture, every weak seam. Panic rippled through the alien mass. Lead ships veered, signatures fracturing. Data flood, Elias explained. Their codes ancient. Lights out. Overloaded arrays burst on the hollow, debris blooming like fireworks. The council chamber fell silent. Kethrak's private channel winked dead, cut by his own allies. Saleth raised a claw. Court, stand down all rights. Threat verified. Human aid invoked. Cheers mixed with hisses. Aliens leaned in, eyes wide. Humans didn't bluff. They engineered sight itself. Elias exhaled. His wrist timer hit 68:00 o'clock. Swarm ghosts faded under relentless scans. A private ping lit his tablet. Neural seal. More seals broken, Envoy. Kethrax hit a Queen Killer core. Active. In her vault. Saleth's eyes narrowed on her own feed. She turned to the guards. Minister Kethrax, you stand accused. Escort him. Kethrax bolted for a side exit. Guards tackled him mid-stride. The broadcast caught every thud. Elias met Saliath's gaze. Competence had met power. Respect sealed it. But Neryl's ping demanded more. Saleth strode from the dais. Envoy Trent, with me. Vault access granted. Elias followed her through armored corridors. Palace hum faded behind blast doors. Her claws tapped codes into a seamless wall. Hiss of pressure seals. Inner vault doors parted. Shadows cloaked the chamber ahead. Racks of glowing cores, data spires humming. Air tasted metallic, charged. Saleth's voice dropped low. Kethrax profited from war drums. This core, it mimics Queen's signals, draws swarms to any ruler who defies him. Elias scanned the readouts. Human nets linked in seamlessly. Active cycle, 3 hours. Target lock on you. She clawed at console. Protocol locks me. Public certainty or forfeit throne. Your broadcast bought time. Footsteps echoed. Admiral Park entered, flanked by 2 human marines, restrained, hands open. Ma'am, fleet's holding perimeter. Core shutdown viable? Elias traced the power flows. Yes, but sponsors layered it. Kethrak's allies embedded overrides. Neryl slipped in behind them, tentacles clutching a data slate. Confirmed. 3 ministers complicit. Core broadcasts, fractal tongues, swarm bait. Saleth's mandibles flexed. Exposed them. Live. Elias triggered another channel. Not full broadcast, targeted to Council loyalists. Holoscreens lit the vault. Archivist. Feed the traces. Nero projected. Layered codes. Minister sigils, pulsing. Gasps echoed from remote feeds. One minister's voice crackled. Kethrak's forced our betrayal verified. Saleth cut in. Her claws slammed a kill switch. Core whined, then silenced. Lights dimmed. Park nodded. Swarm scattering. Boys confirm. Council feeds cheered, but Elias spotted a flicker. A subcore pulsing faint. Wait. He pointed. Backup. Alien design. Self-repair. Saleth hissed. Kethrak's final play. Guards dragged the minister in. Shackled. He glared. You humans, you see too much. Elias ignored him. Narrow, isolated. Park sensor lock. Tentacles danced. Human scans poured in. The subcore fractured under the flood. Ancient code yielding to precision. Silence fell. Saleth turned to Elias. Earth's envoy. You refused the bluff, named the threat. Turned arrest to revelation. He shrugged. Diplomacy's engineering. Fit pieces. Apply pressure. Her claw touched his shoulder. Rare honor. Council respects this. Power yields to sight. Park smiled faintly. Fleet stand ready, your majesty. But Neryl's slate pinged again. Private to Elias. Deeper vault. Swarm Queen signal origin. Not Kethrak's. Older. Saleth's eyes sharpened. What now, envoy? Elias checked his timer. 67, 45, 12. Shadows hid more. Briefing's not over, he said. Deeper vault. Live. Doors hissed wider. They stepped in. Kethrax laughed from his chains. You blind yourselves. The hunger wakes. Elias glanced back. Competence met power. But the game deepened. Vault lights flickered. A low rumble shook the floor. Subspace ping. Ancient and vast. Saleth's claw tightened. Council reconvenes. Full alert. Elias synced his tablet. Human nets pierced deeper. Whatever waited, they'd see it first. Park drew her sidearm, restrained. Pods prepped. Neryl's tentacles trembled. Logs say, Progenitor Swarm. Queen's Ancient War. The rumble grew. Elias walked forward. Elias stepped into the vault's core chamber. Hollow screens flickered to life, projecting a swarm of shadow ships erupting from subspace rifts. Progenitor ghosts, ancient drones from the Queen's old wars, mindless and ravenous. Alarms screamed across the galactic feed. The grand hall outside erupted in chaos. Admiral Park's voice cut through Elias's calm. Trent, eyes on. Interception live. Elias glanced at her projection. Park stood on the bridge of the UNS Reliant, her face a mask of focus. Human fleets materialized in perfect formation. 64 interceptors, engines humming silent. Disable protocols. Park ordered. No lethal fire. EMP bursts only. The court feeds broadcast it all. Alien ministers gasped as human ships danced through the swarm. Precision tractors latched onto ghost hulls. Pulsars rippled out, frying nav cores without breaching life support illusions. Drones listed, engines dead, crews, if any, untouched. One minister bellowed, They end the battle without a single kill. Terrifying. Another whispered, What sorcery spares the enemy? Solith's claw dug into Elias's arm. From his view, her eyes locked on the feed. Protocol bound her. No uncertainty in public. But her grip betrayed the strain. Park's voice returned. Swarm neutralized. 200 ghosts secured. Transponders intact. For analysis. Elias nodded to Neral. Fragments. Now. The archivist's tentacles flew over controls. Captured transponder shards materialized in holo form. Jagged code signatures pulsing red. Match them, Elias said. Neural cross-referenced. Linked to Kethrak's private contractors. Shadow-forged hulls. Funded through his ministry's slush accounts. Logs confirm. He woke the progenitors to force escalation. Kethrak snarled from his chains. Projected in the chamber. Lies. Tradition demands. Enough. Salah's voice boomed. She rose on her throne dais, visible through the vault's outer feed. Minister Kethrax, you stand confined. Your voting seal is stripped. Guards, secure him. Armored sentinels swarmed Kethrax. He thrashed, but they pinned him. His seal, a crystalline orb, cracked under Salith's remote command. Shards fell, nullifying his influence. The court murmured approval. Elias caught Salith's glance, gratitude hidden in protocol's armor. But Kethrax laughed, wild. You think this ends? Protocol 47. Last-ditch vote. I invoke it now. Full council rules before the whole reconvenes. Holovotes ignited across the chamber. Ministers' seals lit up, forced into snap judgment. War declaration on Earth or stand down? Elias's timer blinked. 67, 42, 09. Too tight. He synced his tablet to the human nets. Narrow, deeper logs. Park. Fleet posture. Park's projection. Sharpened. Ships in blockade formation ready to demonstrate more if needed. Neryl's slate word. Confirmed. Kethrak's contractors mined the progenitors. But origin signal traces to royal vaults. Not his alone. Salith stiffened. Elias saw it. The flicker of doubt she couldn't show. Votes tallied. 52% for escalation. Kethrax grinned. Not yet. Elias projected the transponder ties. Council. See the contracts. Kethrak's sigils on every drone. He bluffed the swarm to corner the queen. Ministers leaned in. Seals shifted, 48% now neutral. Kethrax roared. Human trickery. Park interjected via open channel. Verify yourselves. Reliance scans public. No deaths. Ghosts intact for your inspection. An elder minister nodded. The humans spare even ghosts. Competence without blood. Votes flipped. 61% stand down. Salith exhaled subtle, ruling. Stands. War averted. Kethrax slumped, sealed away. But Nero pinged Elias privately. Envoy. The royal trace. Progenitor queen signal. Active. Elias checked the feed. Deep in the vault's sub-level, a new rift hummed. Larger. Alive. Salith turned to him. You exposed him. Wartime. What hides deeper? Elias met her gaze. The real hunger. Your ancestors' warhead. Her claw tightened on his shoulder again. Honor renewed. Lead, Earth Envoy. Council follows. Park's voice crackled. Pods inbound. Full sensor sweep. They descended. Elias walked point tablet guiding. Human scans pierced the rift's veil first, revealing a colossal shadow. Progenitor queen ship. Awakening. Neuro's tentacles froze. Logs worn. It births fleets. Endless. Elias signaled Park. Precision disable. Again. Human interceptors warped in. Tractors extended. Pulses targeted the queen core. The ship shuddered. Drones unborn fizzled in bays. No kills. Just silence. Court feeds exploded. They tamed the progenitor itself. Terrifying mercy, Salith murmured, voice for Elias alone. Kethrax's final broadcast sneered from confinement. You delay the inevitable. Hunger adapts. Elias ignored him. Competence met power. But the rift pulsed anew. Signal evolving. Timer. 67:39:44. Park, lock the queen signal origin. Elias said. Nerl, royal logs unsealed. Salith nodded. Full access. For sight. Deeper they went. Elias felt the court's eyes, respect forged in action. Aliens mastered protocol, humans engineered outcomes. Vault doors sealed behind. The rumble shifted, intelligent now. Progenitor voice echoed. Sisters, return. Salith halted. My lineage sealed it. Woke by Kethrax's greed. Elias projected Park's incoming data. We end it clean. Your authority intact. She placed her claw on the core panel. Together. Human scans flooded. Ancient locks yielded. The queen's signal fractured. Silence. But narrow slate lit. Echo signal. Off-world. Kethrax had allies. Elias glanced at Salith. Game deepened again. Park's alert pinged. New swarm vector. Human nets, see it first. Council feeds hailed. Envoy Trent. Guidance. He stepped forward. Timer ticked. Respect held. For now. The vault trembled. Elias synced fleets. Whatever came next, humans saw clear. Salith's eyes gleamed. Power. Yields. Show them. Park's ships surged. Precision met the storm. Elias walked into the heart. Capability refused bluff. War stayed caged. But the echo grew. Allies stirred. Timer. 67, 37, 22. Deeper shadows waited. Elias locked eyes with Queen Salith as the vault seals hissed shut. Admit the breach now. Publicly. Claim the fix as your command. Her mandibles clicked once. The Queen's chamber thrummed with council feeds, projecting holographic faces. Dozens of alien envoys, eyes wide at the silenced rift. Kethrak's echo signal lingered off-world. A swarm vector Park's fleets tracked. Timer blinked. 67:37:10. Salith's claw tapped her throne console. They watch. Protocol demands certainty. Protocol breaks under truth. Elias projected Park scans. Clean rift closure. Human precision overlays matching royal seals. You sealed it with us. Own it. They follow strength that admits fault. Minister Kethrak sneered from his confinement feed, allies flickering in shadow channels. Lies. The Queen falters. Tradition calls war. Council murmurs swelled. Salith rose, her iridescent scales flaring under vault lights. Silence, Kethrax. The breach wakes by greed. I claim it. My lineage sealed the progenitor rift. Humans aided the mend. Elias nodded to Admiral Park's hologram. Park's voice cut crisp. Earth nets confirm. Swarm inbound, but contained. Your lead, Elias. The Queen's gaze met Elias's. No bluff. She broadcasts to the Galactic Hall. Reforms issue now. Emergency powers lock behind audits. Transparent. Public. Narrow. Unseals all logs. Archivist Neryl's slate hummed beside Elias. Data streams flooded council views. Kethrak's hidden packs. Profit logs from rift exploitation. Gasps rippled through alien feeds. Kethrax pounded his restraints. Treason! She yields to primitives. Salith's voice boomed. You yield to chains. Council, witness. Elias felt the shift. Aliens leaned forward, mandibles still. Competence landed. He stepped to the Queen's dais. Earth offers compact, mutual defense, mutual rescue. No special privileges. Equals in the net. Council envoys blinked, scaled faces, feathered crests, crystalline eyes. All frozen. One Vorlath delegate rasped. Humans demand throne rights. No throne. Elias kept voice level. Accountability. Our fleets guard yours. Your archives guide ours. Shared audits prevent breaches. Salith tilted her head, claws flexing. You refuse favor? Equals build stronger. Elias synced Park's demo. Human drones weaving through simulated swarms, rescuing alien mock-ups without a shot fired. Precision, not power. Admiral Park's feed nodded. Our nets saw your echo first. We share all. Narrow cross-check live. Truth. Human scans pierced our veils. Council voted flashed. Green cascades. Ratification sealed in seconds. The hall's central orb pulsed approval. Salith extended a claw. Elias clasped it. Human palm to armored digit. Compact binds. Thunderous approval echoed. No cheers. Alien respect ran deeper. Delegates bowed slightly, eyes on Elias. Kethrak's feed cut. His allies scattered. Signals jammed by Park's nets. Timer. 67, 36:45. Swarm vector bent away. Elias exhaled. Respect formed. Not begged. Earned. But Neryl's slate pinged private. Deeper echo. Progenitor core stirs beyond our space. Solith's eyes narrowed. They call sisters still. Elias glanced at Park's feed. We audit together. Next rift waits. Council feeds hailed anew. Envoy Trent, lead the audit. He nodded. Humans, engineered outcome. Power followed. The whole doors parted. Deeper shadows advanced. Elias walked forward. Timer ticked. Queen Saleth matched his stride. You read rooms as we read stars. Engineering.
Elias tapped his wrist, calm. Park's fleets realigned.
Clear sight first. Council chambers expanded into the Grand Hall. Thousands of aliens packed tiers. Protocol drones hovering, recording every step. Elias felt their stares. Curiosity sharpening to awe. One delegate approached, a tentacled Merath. Human, you're compact. Unprecedented. Why no dominance clause? Elias projected the ratified doc. Dominance blinds shared eyes. See farther. Saleth interjected. He speaks truth. My reforms stand on his counsel. Neural trailed slate beaming audit previews. Kethrak's network crumbles. 15 systems implicated. Elias scanned the hall. Power brokers shifted allegiances. Whispers of new pacts. Competence refused bluff. Park's voice pinged earpiece. Swarm diverted. But progenitor signal evolves. Off our charts. Elias halted at the central podium. Council. Audit Phase 1. Full rift logs. Holograms bloomed. Ancient progenitor vaults. Saleth's lineage seals cracked by Kethrak's codes. Gasps unified the hall. A hulking, Groon admiral grunted. Humans pierced what our fleets missed. Teamwork. Elias nodded to Saleth. Queen's access. Our nets. She placed claw on podium. Reforms in force. No emergency without audit quorum. Votes locked in. Whole orb glowed steady. Elias caught Saleth's glance. Gratitude in her steady gaze. No words needed, but his comm buzzed urgent. Park, echo signal spikes. Allies inbound. Kithrak's fleet. Shadows. Timer. 67:35:12. Elias addressed the hall. Threat persists. Compact activates. Park! Human fleet surged into view. Sleek, unyielding lines cutting void sims. Aliens straightened. Solace mandibles set. Together. Elias synced data. Shadows deepened, but light held. Neural leaned in. One log. Buried. Progenitor Queen awakens. Elias's pulse quickened. Game widened. Council leaned forward. Respect sealed. He didn't claim the throne. Accountability claimed them. Vault echoes faded as they emerged into the grand nexus. Elias's boots echoed on polished crystal floors. Queen Saleth's entourage flanked him, Nero clutching her slate. Guards, rigid. Council feeds dominated the air. A Voloth envoy demanded, "Proof of reforms, Majesty." Saleth activated her scepter. Golden edicts scrolled. Emergency powers audit-bound. Public quorum required. Effective now. Elias watched reactions. Scaled brows furrowed, then nodded. Aliens valued protocol. Humans bent it to purpose. Kethrak's residual allies probed channels. Elias blocked them with Park's jammer pulse. Admiral Park's hologram solidified beside him. Fleets on station. Compact terms, clear? Mutual only. Elias refused the baited sub-channels offering Earth primacy. No privileges. Park smirked faintly. Copy. Scouts report swarm scatter. Nirul unsealed the final log. Kethrax profited from progenitor hunger. Allies in fringe sectors. Saleth's claw slammed down. Exile them. Compact in forces. Council ratification hit like a wave. Unanimous. The hall's ancient gong tolled once, deep and resonant. Delegates rose, bows rippled toward Elias. Envoy Trent, equal voice granted. He inclined head. Humble competence, Solith murmured close. You forge respect without crowns. Accountability binds tighter. Timer. 67:34. 28. But Park's alert flashed. Progenitor core breach. New rift galactic rim. Nero's eyes widened. Sisters return. Full swarm. Elias synced all feeds. Audit evolves to action. Council. Eyes locked on him. The galaxy followed. Shadows stirred beyond the rim. Capability met them head-on.